Hey everybody, welcome to this video I'm going to talk about printing. I'm pretty new to the printing thing, to be honest. As far as digital photography goes, you know, back in the day when I was using 35mm Pentax film camera, printing was a thing I did all the time. You know, you got your, what were they, 4x6s, 5x7s, all day long. And it was cool, it was fun. But the digital thing is a whole different animal. I mean, it just really is. So if you're new or getting into photography or just haven't printed much and you're thinking about printing them, there's a lot to consider. For one, it's probably a no-brainer, but you know, when you're editing your photos on your computer screen or your iPad or, you know, even your phone, just remember you're looking at your photos from a backlit perspective. So the light is coming from essentially from behind the image, right? So it's hitting your eyes. It's like, wow, that's popping. What you find when you print photos is a whole different story, because then the light that's illuminating everything from behind is no longer there. So you have to then go, you know, you count on what you see as a perspective from the light now facing the image. And that is, I'm still learning, to be honest, about the digital printing of the digital photos. I am learning a lot quickly. And I've been doing a lot of printing lately with Bay Photo just to get an idea, so I can see, you know, I can kind of gauge my editing actually. This one looks great in the video here. I mean, you can see all the Aurora. Oh, by the way, real quick story. So this is the Aurora over the city of Seattle, which is a very, very rare thing. And this actually just occurred in this May 2024, between May 10th and May 11th. Major geomagnetic storm. I knew about it. I was out at this park in West Seattle with this great view of the whole entire city. This is shot with a wide angle lens, 20mm lens. F2, Tokina Firen F2. It's been my go-to Northern Lights lens for years now, actually. And actually shot on my older camera body, Sony A7 II, which for many years when I lived in Finland and worked as a photography guide, a Northern Lights photography guide, my go-to camera was my Sony A7 II. The kit was my Sony A7 II and this Tokina Firen manual focus 20mm lens with the F2 aperture. Anyway, we had this amazing, possibly once in a lifetime opportunity here in Washington to witness. I mean, it wasn't just Washington, it was like all over the world in places that you don't normally see the Northern Lights. Anyway, again, I was there, West Seattle, at this park with a great view of the city, and I waited for many hours, and the wait paid off. And so, there you go. So I ordered a couple of these test prints from Bay Photo on different types of paper. This is on one called Luster. This is supposed to be Luster, but I'm pretty sure this is metallic paper. This one was developed on metallic paper, and this one also on Luster. And while I'm talking about luster, look at this. I mean, you can see, I mean, even in the video, or not in the video, because it looks great in the 4K video, but not in the video, this is the most popping image of all of them. And I really believe that the paper makes the difference. So the metallic paper, I feel like there's too much reflection, and it takes away from the detail of these images, especially these nighttime, you know, these night photography images. When you're shooting at night, I mean, you're dealing with obviously not that much light. So there's all the little tricks of like shooting at night, right? Longer exposures, the widest, you know, fastest aperture you can get. You know, there's, you know, the ISO. You have to watch the ISO. You can't have it too low, but you don't want it too high because you don't want too much noise in your photo, even though most of today's digital cameras handle high ISO noise pretty well. My point is, I guess one of my points is, as I'm learning a bunch of things about now printing my digital photos, I've come to realize that though the metallic stuff you would think looks really, really cool, and in most cases it does, especially when you have photos that are shot in adequate daylight or just really good light. So you see awesome landscape photos and whatnot in people's galleries that are on metallic paper, and it just pops and it's so shiny and it just wows you. That's great when you're working in an environment with a lot of light. I'm gonna go ahead and say, when you are shooting night photography, particularly astrophotography, city photography at night, or in my case, Aurora Borealis photos, this metallic paper, in my opinion, is not the best for representing your images. This luster paper, or pearl, I have found really, really makes the details pop. It makes the contrast pop. And without so much reflection like metallic paper, I think that's why you see a lot more detail. Your eyes aren't getting distracted by other, reflections that happen from the metallic paper. So I guess this video has been long enough, but this is part one of probably many videos as I'm learning about printing digital prints.